Let's go back now to our panel. Once again, reintroducing the co-founder and editor-in-chief of Politistic.com, Jennifer Burke, and from Newsmax Washington, the columnist for the Daily Beast, Barrett, Holmes, Pitner. Thanks to you both, and a reminder to those of you watching at home, the number to call is 1-877-NEWSMAX. That's 1-877-639-7629. Back to the phones to Farmington Hills, Michigan for Thomas. Thomas, you're live on America Talks Live.
Hi, JD. 60 seconds, please.
Okay, we yield you 60 seconds. Go for it.
Hillary Clinton, let the standard you use for judging others be applied to yourself. Donald Trump's lying again? You who preach that a man should not lie, do you lie? See Romans chapter 2, verses 21 through 24. Donald went low by bringing up bills passed? Really? Then why didn't you criticize the lowness of the moderators who started it all by bringing up Donald's past? Oh, Hillary, here we go again. Don't say Islamic terrorists. Tell me something. Which bully ever stopped her bullying because her victim tried to ignore her? Oh, I see. Just don't say anything to make them think we're at war with Islam, because true Islam has nothing to do with terrorism. Yes, and PBS is a safe place for children to watch television. Well, then again, perhaps you are right, but only in an ultimate sense. You see, in the final analysis, it's not Christians versus Muslims. It's Jesus Christ versus Allah, who the Quran itself teaches is the greatest of deceivers. Sorry to inform you, Hillary and Uma, but Allah is not God, and Muhammad is not God's prophet. And Christian Hillary, until you repent of your sin, please stay out of Michigan.
Thomas, want to thank you for your call, and I appreciate that. In the future, I'd love to hear your spontaneous thoughts, but I know you wanted to put them down on paper. Fair enough, and thanks very much for your analysis of last night's debate and the way you perceive what is transpiring. Let me turn to Barrett Holmes Pitner again. Barrett, one of the salient points that had less to do with theology, but perhaps more to do with the political campaign from Thomas, was this credibility problem for Mrs. Clinton. And certainly, despite the establishment's accolades for Mrs. Clinton, there is a real problem with her candor and, dare we say it, honesty. In your opinion last night, did she overcome that, or did Mr. Trump score some points by pointing out what he perceived to be duplicity?
Well, I think Trump scored some points with his own base. I think at this point, this stage in the game, they're trying to get the few remaining undecided swing voters who may be looking towards Gary Johnson or Jill Stein. And I'm not sure if Trump did much to persuade those people. I think Hillary Clinton, especially in the town hall format, was much more comfortable walking up and talking to the people who asked the questions, appearing more personable. And, you know, emotional things like that really relate to voters who really want to believe that the candidate cares about them. So Trump made his points, and, you know, he did them well. I don't think they appealed to people who already hadn't decided to vote for Donald Trump, though. And
so while it might not work in the Beltway, perhaps across what is referred to by the elites as overflying country, Jennifer, Donald Trump may have really turned in a credible performance. Your thoughts?
Yeah, you know, it was astounding to me to hear Hillary Clinton over and over again say, well, you know, Donald Trump, with her little chuckling talk as she laughs and talks at the same time, accusing him of living in an alternate reality, and absolutely nothing he said was true. One of the first things I learned and when I took a logic class in college was, when you say everything, it typically isn't accurate. Now, Donald Trump referenced the 33,000 emails she didn't turn over, yet Hillary Clinton said it's absolutely not true. Hillary Clinton has a problem with the truth. I find it astounding she calls anyone a liar, because we heard her lie over and over and over and over again about Emailgate and a variety of other things for the last year and a half. So I thought they both, you know, made their points. I thought, to me, I probably know more than the average person, which is why the alphabet media, as you said, JD, kind of controls the thought. They no longer give the news. They do mind thought, you know, what they want you to know, which is why we've had this focus on the Trump tapes and not very much of a focus on the WikiLeaks emails, and which is why all of a sudden the left is outraged over Donald Trump and Trump tapes, when previously with Bill Clinton, we were told, you know, move on. character, is not important when it comes to someone being in the White House. That's his own personal business. It's irrelevant. That's what we were told back then, but now it's a whole new story. And you have the media complicit, too many in the media complicit, and pushing that false, disturbing narrative.
Back to the phones at 1-877-NEWSMAX. That's 1-877-639-7629. Jen, we've got one of your neighbors and a lady I used to represent in Congress on the line from Chandler, Arizona. Here's Kathy. Hi, Kathy.
Hi, JD. How are you today?
Doing fine,
Listen,
thanks.
I am still supporting Trump more than ever. He presented himself as an exquisite debater last night. He actually really brought out a lot of things about the Clinton administration and their corruption. I loved when he talked about Bill Clinton bringing the Attorney General, where they met on a plane and they went to the back and came out, and all of a sudden she got the subpoena, but she deleted all these emails talking about Obamacare, which was her. That was her work before Obama put it through in his administration. Also talking about the comments she made about him from 11 and a half years ago on tape, and he said those were words, and then he brought up all the things that Bill Clinton did, and those 4 women were in the audience. Another thing I wanted to point out was I noticed she had no hand gestures last night. We had a theater in the round, so it was difficult for her to pull any kind of, I don't think she had any help. I mean, there were questions about her having an earpiece or being wired. I noticed she couldn't handle herself last night. Was that because she didn't have that help?
Well, why don't we ask Barrett about that? It just seemed to me that perhaps the town hall format is not her best forum. Barrett, you did point out the fact that she did walk over to the groups, establish eye contact, express to those asking questions, validating their concerns. Obviously, you thought she had a pretty good night. You thought Trump had a pretty good night, too. But do you believe, with the minute that remains, that the town hall format really is Hillary's strong suit?
Town hall formats are difficult for all politicians. You have to talk to so many different angles. You have to talk to the people around. You have to talk to the moderator. You have to talk to the camera. It's really difficult to look comfortable in that format for anyone. There are a few people, like even Obama, who's one of the most charismatic presidents around, has a hard time with town hall format. So, yeah, it's not her strong suit, but it's known for its difficulty. I will say, if we start talking about the investigations, like, you have to remember, the Clintons have been investigated by Republican-controlled Congresses for decades. Right
Can
now,
I
Donald
just ask
Trump
you
is
this
plummeting
question?
in the polls.
Since you want to cite the Constitution and very close to time, isn't it the role of Congress to engage in oversight? Isn't that Congress's role? Okay. It is.
Of course it's Congress's role, but we're talking about Donald Trump is plummeting in the polls now because people are investigating what he's been doing over decades.
I see.
It's just
all right. Well, I appreciate that, and I know you will continue to offer your opinions there at the Daily Beast. Barrett, Holmes, Pitner, and also our thanks to Jennifer Burke, coming back to talk about the economy and how the candidates talked about it last night. Stay with us.